Yeah. What's your name? What's your question?
What's up, y'all? I'm Bino. My question is, as a man, how do you lead in a marriage a dominant wife that's healing with past trauma and struggles with submission?
Hey, it sounds like a mystery box.
Ask it one more time. Ask your question one more time.
Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready? Tonight we're going bigger, louder, crazier, and absolutely nothing is off limits. Get on your feet because tonight's conversation, let's go!
One more time.
Read that again. Read that again.
Read it one more time.
Take it slow.
I got y'all. Let me slow it down. What'd he say? Rewind. Let me stop.
As a man, how do you lead in a marriage a dominant wife that's healing with past trauma and struggles with submission?
Let's go with our guest first.
No. First, I wanted to say I just got married 7 months ago to my beautiful wife. She's somewhere over there. And I love her. But she would be considered a dominant woman. And what I found is, even if a woman presents herself as dominant, she wants her man to lead. And so, what I would encourage you to do is don't let her appearance of dominance intimidate you. But remember that she wants you to lead, so take the lead. And one of the cool things you can do, just ask her if she's open to going to counseling, getting therapy. I can help her with the healing process of what she's been through, because she's probably had to take the lead for so long. And then also, if it helps, get around some really good men who can really teach you how to really lead in your household, because sometimes we think because we're men, that just makes us great leaders. But we need to be around other men who can teach us. So watch this. When you try to lead, you can sometimes come with better results when you've got great teaching from other men who are great leaders versus you just trying stuff. Because the worst thing you can do for a woman who has been through so much is just try to demand submission from her, demand her to just obey you just because you're a man, and you're building a chair that's not sturdy and you're saying, just sit in it. It's like, you know what I'm saying? So I would say do your due diligence to be vulnerable, to be around men and say, hey, I really want to lead better, knowing that doesn't make you less of a man. You see what I'm saying? And so just be encouraged, and affirm her. You know what I'm saying? Affirm her. Be patient with her. You see what I'm saying? And also, don't forget that you were created to be a leader. But in order for you to really tap into that, you have to have a relationship with God. You see what I'm saying? And yeah, that's my encouragement to you. You know what I'm saying? That's my encouragement.
Appreciate it. Candace.
And I just wanted to add, because I think that's beautiful advice. And essentially, when you're working with a dominant person, you cannot force them into submission. And I think a lot of times men are like, I'm the leader, I'm the man, you're supposed to follow me. But if you have a person who is dealing with dominance, really, there's another word for that. There's a lot of control there. There's a lot of fear there. And ultimately, that is an overcompensation for not feeling safe. And so what is now required is for her to be in therapy to learn first why she doesn't feel safe, and then what is the antidote, what can make her feel safe. And when she starts to learn more about herself, now she can come to you and actually ask for what she needs. Now she has a lot of self-awareness and wherewithal to know this is the type of leadership that makes me feel soft. This is the type of leadership that makes me feel safe. And sometimes men will try to figure it out. Like, this is how I'm going to lead. But maybe that's not how she wants to be led. So there's a conversation that you get to have as well. What type of leadership in this phase of your journey of healing are you open to? Are you receptive to? What type of leadership will make you feel safe, will allow you to feel closer to me? but also she's looking for trust. Because a lot of women, they don't allow you to lead because they don't trust that you can do it. And so now the conversation is, what can I do? How can we build this trust together? It's just like when you go to work and it's like, well, why would I train you to do what I'm going to do? I can just do it myself. A lot of people don't want to have to go through all of the work of training a person to do the thing that they can already do. But your job is like, babe, you've been working for so long. Allow me to take some of that burden from you. It's going to require her to learn how to trust herself, to feel safe within herself, because you can't make nobody feel safe that don't already feel safe within their own body. Right? And so that's a conversation you get to have with her, just to learn her while she learns herself in therapy.
And that was so good, sis. That was so good.
One more.
And I also say this, and this may not be popular, but if you want a woman to submit to you, you do it first. Right?
Come on, servant leadership.
So a lot of times,
Come on, Nate.
a lot of times what happens is, as men, we lean on that verse in the Bible that says, wives, submit yourselves to your husband, right? And we totally disregard the verse that says, submit yourselves one to another as unto Christ, right? So as a man, if you want a dominant woman to know what it looks like to submit, you submit to God and you also submit to her. Serve her in ways that a man has never served her before, and I promise you, you will unlock a part of her that she has never had unlocked. A lot of times for a woman, the reason why she doesn't want to submit is because she doesn't feel safe enough to do so. So my encouragement to you would be, submit to God and submit to her in ways that she's never had a man submit to her before, and you will unlock a version of her that you've never seen before.
And real quick, I feel like a skill set a lot of men lack in these situations as far as building the trust and the safety with women is we don't understand the science and the art of passive leadership, right? Like my wife struggled when I first got with her. She struggled with issues with food and like food addictions and stuff like that. So initially I would see her have food that she loved, hit it with the salt, right? And I watched this process probably for a good year or so before I ever said anything. And at a certain point, we had just finished a retreat. We in Mexico somewhere, and we had just got some banging food. And she said, baby, it's perfect. And she still went to put the salt on there. That passive leadership had built the cachet because I hadn't said anything to that point, right? I hadn't tried to force my hand or be overt or aggressive with the leadership. I just watched. I observed. But in that moment, my spirit said, now it's time, right? And when I said it to her, she said, okay, right? And she went in the back room and watched her little trash TV or whatever it is y'all watch. But the next morning, she came back to me and she was in tears and she was like, that opened up something in me where I never had to look at myself in this way with this particular trauma that I'm working on. It wouldn't have worked if I said that week 1. It wouldn't have worked if maybe I said that week 3. So men got to understand the art and the dance that it's not always time to just dictate. We got to build that cachet passively sometimes too.
Okay, can I love everything y'all said, and I hate to be this guy.
You love it. You love it.
Because I got a rep for the men in the comment section. This is not a person you're married to.
This is a person I'm married to.
Oh, well, let me shut the fuck up to you. Let me just, I'm going to just end the episode. Because, because I just don't want this advice to seem like it's to every man. You married that woman, so you probably should figure it out. But for the guys that are watching that has not married that woman yet, and these are the issues that you are experiencing, oftentimes this is to, just like we tell to the women, this is a key that maybe that's not the woman for you. Not you, okay? You're married to her. But there are so many men that get into the savior, I'm going to put my cape on and save this woman, and it's like, yo, you're putting a lot of energy and effort in somebody that's not healed or ready to be in a successful relationship yet. And sometimes the solution is to find somebody that is ready for that. We often talk about, and you said it, I think yesterday in Houston, we talk about love languages. Everybody talks about this love language, but we don't talk about, I'm stealing some of your points. What's your
apology language?
Well, we got apology language, but then hold on. But what's your leadership language? What's your following language? Like, what are the styles that you prefer? How do you deal with conflict? These are conversations that we are not having. Really, bro, it would be so nice as if you had like everybody before they went into the dating field had to get like evaluated by like 3 therapists, and they gave him like a personality assessment, and then y'all got to trade cards. Then y'all got to look at that thing. Oh, your leadership style is this, because oftentimes we start fighting for things because we like people, and while it works for some people, for the majority of us, that's how we lead ourselves to disappointment and heartbreak. We'll see those signs in the beginning. Again, you're married. I'm not talking to you. But you'll see in the beginning that this woman is dominant to a point where she doesn't respect your leadership. To a lot of men, we would think that that's an open challenge for us to prove that we are this or that. And what I'm saying is, if you got that to give, do it. My advice to the brothers, don't. Just like my advice to a lot of the sisters when you were seeing a man that has red flags. One of the biggest red flag to me as a man is somebody that they don't want to sign up for my leadership style. It doesn't mean something is wrong with you. Doesn't mean that something is wrong with me. That's a fight I'm not going to fight. I'm 36. I know what I like. I know where I want to go. And I'm not trying to force you to do that. So what I'm going to do is pivot to somebody that rock with the way I rock. Because to your point, I see it as you don't feel safe here, and I know that. You don't trust my leadership, and I feel that. And for somebody that prides himself on being a protector and provider, that's not somewhere I'm gonna yoke myself. So I just encourage men to not put on that cape all the time. Pivot, find somebody that values the way you lead if you feel it's healthy in the beginning.
I was going to say that I think a lot of times women don't submit because they don't feel loved. And so it seems like they're fighting against the leadership, but they're really crying out because they don't feel the love that they.
We always give them bail in these conversations.
I'm not.
But do you feel what I'm saying?
I feel where you're coming from. I definitely feel where you're coming from. You feel like we bail women out.
Yes.
Yeah. I do think it's important. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times in relationships, a man has to come ready, and we give a lot of women grace for maybe not showing up the way that they should. So I completely understand that. I guess I'm just speaking to the fact that a lot of times there are legitimate reasons why women may not want to follow a particular man, right? And
so pick another one.
Pick another what?
Pick another man.
Well, let me chime in.
Okay.
Let me chime in, and then we're done. So I'm gonna say this: all across the board, all of us are dominant because of something she said that was so critical. When we feel unsafe, when we feel fear, we're all seeking control just to protect ourselves. So you could find a woman who starts off soft. You could be a guy who you've done therapy and wow, you're so in touch with your emotions. But now you just lost someone that you love, and the grief is causing you to do things that you've never seen yourself do before. She just lost her job. She's feeling insecure like crazy. She's experiencing all types of emotions. So there's seasons where she may be soft now, then all of a sudden things are just causing her to feel like she has to regain control. Here's a moment of intimacy for you and your spouse. And everybody in the room, if you're dating, you can also ask these cool kind of questions. What are you afraid of? What's making you anxious? What are you anticipating? And go back to what I said, affirm her. Try to add that affirmation of safety. You know what I'm saying? And then of course you want to match it with your actions as well, because you're fighting against emotions. You're fighting against like a type of cognitive dissonance. Like you're not dealing with it's not just men and it's not just women. You know what I'm saying? And so I would encourage you, bro, just find out what she's afraid of. Find out her fears, her insecurities, her anxieties, her inferiorities. Where does she not feel like she measures up? Whatever you can, find that out and just speak to that. Speak to that, because leadership is not always what you do in deed, but it's in how you speak life over her. You see what I'm saying?
And guess what? That's been another episode of the Tonight's Conversation podcast. We'll see you next week.
All right, listen, we got our first question. What's your name? What's your question?
Hey y'all, my name is Yoshi. I'm from Memphis, Tennessee, East Side, all day, every day. My question is, okay, so I just got a relationship. So I post something on Facebook and I said, why do people think they gotta heal after a breakup? MF, I ain't injured, next. Is that a problem?
That's concerning.
I didn't want to curse.
That's concerning as fuck.
Why you feel that way? Why you feel that way?
Why I feel that way? Well, it depends on how deep into that relationship you are, right?
All my relationships are deep. Don't mean to cut you off. All my relationships were deep, but like, hey, it didn't work out, so next.
All right, so okay, let's talk about that. Do you think though, and thank you for your question, do you think that there are, so you said that's concerning, do you think that that's because that maybe this reaction isn't a genuine one? And it's maybe covering up some hurt that did happen from a breakup.
That's
it's called
exactly
a breakup.
what I feel.
So maybe it was some injury from the breakup. Do you think that's true?
What I feel. I feel like healing is a long, strenuous process. Right. It takes self-reflection. You're gonna cry. You're gonna get triggered 2, 3, 4 months, sometimes years down the road. Healing is a difficult process. So it's not the one that you wanna go through, right? So it's easy to say, oh, on to the next one next, but sometimes we gotta reflect, like, hold on, how many necks are you gonna have, right? Until you find.
Until I get to the one I'm trying to get to.
Until you get to the one, right?
Period.
But maybe we can't get to the one because we have not healed from everything that we've experienced in our past relationships.
And
I would just want to say that you would have to at least figure out what the reason was that y'all broke up. If y'all just broke up solely based on the fact that this nigga couldn't spell, no big deal. Go fuck somebody else. If y'all were in something, whether it be long or short, and actual trauma happened, or there was something inside of that relationship that was foundational that did not work out, you might need to go check on that shit. But if it's just a general, like, nigga, I don't like you, then absolutely fuck him.
It also doesn't sound like it was a genuine relationship. Like, it sounds like this might have been somebody you met and you were dealing with because you were together for a week. Like,
nah, she said all her relationships are deep. That's what you said, right?
They are.
So
I'm genuine. I'm honest.
So
I didn't say a week. I didn't even say a day or time. No, I didn't.
No, she said all her relationships are deep.
Yeah, not weeks.
Meaning you love hard.
I'm with somebody else now after.
I'm gonna say this. I want to respond to something you said. I get it though. I get it. Next, I get it. Until the next one is that right one, but you the wrong one for him because you ain't healed. So now you bringing them toxic traits. Because here's the thing. When you get in those relationships for so long, and I hate using this word, sometimes we normalize dysfunction. So now when we get into a healthy relationship, we don't relate to it because it's not dysfunctional. So what I want people to do is, look, heal. And healing doesn't mean that you necessarily were broken, but sometimes healing from a relationship, to Richie's point, is learning the lesson from it. Learning what you could do better. That don't mean you broken, but that means that, hey, I could have did this better.
Right.
I need to look for this next time so you don't repeat the mistake.
Right.
Now, Trill AC, I gotta ask you a question.
Sure.
Who handles breakups worse? Men or women?
I say men definitely handle it worse because we don't really factor in the effect that it had on us. Like, we be feeling like, okay, the relationship over with, we can just go to the club, get on these hoes, and be right back in the game. You see what I'm saying? But that relationship it really and truly did a lot of damage to us, and we don't really see it until we get into the next relationship and we damaging her because we didn't heal from what we just left. So I think men don't really take the time to really take in everything that went wrong in a relationship and actually work toward it. But women, they sit in it. They think about it, it eats at them, they figure out what they did wrong, and they typically, again, we talking to the mature, typically don't repeat that mistake again for the mature women.
Let me refocus something. Do you think, true or false, a lot of fuckboys are just broken men that haven't healed yet?
Yes, absolutely. But that's the truth. But the other unfortunate truth is they are choosing not to heal. All of us, I'm not gonna make this a gender war, but overall, when it comes to the journey of healing, black women are leading and intentional about it, right? I feel like women empowerment is everywhere. I don't see many men empowerment events, so we need to get back on that. No?
Leading what?
Leading as far as, when I say leading, I mean as far as being intentional about our healing journey. I see a lot of women being intentional about that versus men because I don't see events with y'all doing stuff. I don't see y'all talking about healing at the basketball court.
Y'all boss brunches ain't no fucking healing.
Richie,
Trip, what's your thoughts?
I don't say this to antagonize, bruh. I don't. Because usually I'll be standing just outside of women's business. You know what I'm saying? I don't really like to get in y'all business like that. But what I see a lot more of than anything is validation. I don't know if validation always equals work. I think women are doing a great job at seeing one another and recognizing the commonality amongst their struggle. But
okay, so let me close it down some. My circles and the women that I see moving and doing the work, I see a lot of women being intentional about the work. So I figure we're not on that path by mistake.
But I hate to do the whole women and men thing too.
That's why I said I didn't want to make it a gender
people that don't
want
to do the work don't do the work.
Exactly. Period.
But I think it's deeper though, and I don't want to harp on it, but I think the work a man is more appreciated for in society is the work he does secularly, financially, the work he does as a quote-unquote leader amongst his peers. That work is rewarded, whereas work internally or emotionally from women are awarded from the opposite sex and vice versa. So when you're saying men aren't doing the work, you're meaning in spaces where oftentimes they're traditionally not valued in the dating market.
And we've talked about this before, so let's bring it up again now that we're all in a very healthy mental space.
Okay.
How do we change that subscription that men have subscribed to because of what society has forced them to subscribe to? And he knows exactly who I'm asking.
Well,
everybody else be quiet.
Because he's gonna answer the question in the same face. I do believe.
I think he's in a different space where he can answer it because he knows I'm asking from a genuine space, right? For sure. Here we go.
Can I say something though?
Girl, no, we've been trying to heal on this for 3 months, baby. Come on.
Yeah, hold on. Let me get 2 seconds real quick, and I got you. No, so I don't want to speak for you. So if you have something first, you can go first. But if not, I got it.
I'll be quick.
Okay.
I think I don't want to get too political because this isn't necessarily the platform for that. I think us as black people have to genuinely start questioning where our ideas come from. I mean, we have to start asking ourselves very tough questions about why we think black men are supposed to be a certain thing, about why we think black women are supposed to be a certain thing. I get where people are coming from because if you've never been outside of the narrative, it gets hard to have a discussion outside of it, right? But even the tradition that we quote unquote stand on, that's not ours either. I'm not trying to get up here and talk hotep with you. I'm really just trying to talk facts. That if you are a descendant of slaves, your moral fabric was forced upon you. What you measure men and women by was forced on you. The notion that you had of village, of being communal, of collectively raising the kids in your village, of there being no separation of powers between men and women, but instead a recognition of a difference in power, that's tradition that you had. This notion that a man is above and superior, this notion that a woman is supposed to be docile and meek and only make a home, bro, that don't belong to you. That man, woman, a gender non-conforming, I don't care who subscribed to it, and I'm not telling you you can't. But if we're ever going to move past what it's doing to us, then you got to be honest about where you got it.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Thank you, Trip.
Thank you for your. We're gonna get a couple more questions.
What an unforgettable night. Thank you for your energy, your passion, and for being part of tonight's conversation. We love you, we appreciate you, and we cannot wait to see you again very soon. Good night, everybody.